Today I really wanted to share with you my knowledges and to share how myself I became Salesforce expert because I was a journalist. I came to France in 2011 from Kazakhstan. And so let's start step by step how exactly you can start also your Salesforce career. Because myself, last year I earned 110,000 euro being freelance in Paris. So my aim to help you to understand steps and how Salesforce really can change your life. So let's start with the presentation. First of all, I wanted to present to you an agenda, what we are going to talk today. So I'm going to present the school, what's the school, what are ambitions. Then the second part will be why you have to learn Salesforce, what exactly is CRM and why company need this solution. I will give you an overview with international and remote opportunities, also with salaries for Salesforce experts, and why the Salesforce professional market open for people even without technical background. Then we will go for your path. So what are the steps to start your Salesforce career and how you can progress, what you can do today to make your first steps and achieve your dreams. And then existing learning program, because I'm not the only one on the market who proposed the learning program. So what exists today, prices, and why you should choose my program and not the others, or how you complete my program with others program to really to succeed with Salesforce. Okay. Well, first of all, just want to ask you, do you know anything about CRM, about Salesforce, or have you heard before about Salesforce or CRM, or it's completely new just for me to understand your background, or if is it something completely new or not? And also from which country you are, because really Salesforce it's a solution which is used in a lot of countries. You probably saw as the presentation the first slide which I showed. It's the Salesforce economy map, and you can see that by 2020 there will be about 3,003,000 jobs in the world related to Salesforce. But still, there are Salesforce is not used in every country, but it's used in major big countries like a lot in Australia, a lot in Canada. There are huge demands in France, Germany, UK. So if you will go to search for jobs and positions, you will see that majority dispatched really in big cities. Myself, I mostly received propositions from Paris, London, Munich from Germany, Amsterdam, Dublin in Ireland. They have their their company Salesforce also, which based in Ireland, and the headquarters is based in San Francisco. Also in India. But from my experience, being freelancer, for example, it's interesting. Freelancer and also for job positions, interesting. Also USA, really in big cities and also in big European cities. Today, for example, I'm in Malta, and Malta is an emerging market, and Salesforce really just become to be known here in Malta. But for France, for example, it's already existing market. A lot of companies use already Salesforce. So it's very easy to find freelancing or job positions. It's really very, very easy. Get back for this slide. So big dreams for all of us. Today I have a small school. I started 8 months before. First of all, launched the Salesforce program for Russian market, and people don't know anything about Salesforce there. Then I started to sell for French market. And now it's the first time I really launched for English-speaking countries. So my aim actually not just give skills on Salesforce, but really help people to jump to the profession, how I did for myself, and to give not only skills but also share tips how to prepare CV, because CV for IT markets is different from the CV, from general CV. So you have really described projects on which you worked. And so I have the big ambition to help people to build their international career as I did myself. So yes, get back to there. So have a job which you love, money, and international career. Again, about this company, so we teach online in-demand skills to people looking to build their career, start working remotely. And today we teach Salesforce administrators, Salesforce developers. And yesterday, one company, I talked to one company partner who told me that they need marketing cloud experts. So I'm going to also launch marketing cloud experts educational program. And so we help also people to find practical work, internships, and actually the whole education is based on projects. So only first model you do introduction, but after that you really do projects. And so we structure professional projects and we provide support on building CV, cover letter, and finding a job. So who I am actually and why you can trust me, that's the big question. So I will introduce myself. My name is Verolina. I'm originally from Kazakhstan. I was born there, and as I told, in 2011 I moved to France. But before, I really lived in different countries. I lived in China. I was graduated from Chinese university. I also lived in New Zealand. I lived now I live in Malta. I worked also in Russia, and I moved to France. And actually, the whole my life I passed searching for freedom. I mean, I really wanted to have skills which will permit myself to work in different countries. Because when I arrived, for example, to France, in Kazakhstan, I was journalist. I managed press agency, and when I arrived to France, I realized that no one need actually my skills, and I couldn't find any job. So my first job was journal distribution on the Presse de l'Après-Midi, Montpellier, in the south of France. Just a second, I will just check if there are people coming here. Okay, yes, okay, everything is great. So my first job was in the Presse de l'Après-Midi, and it was because I didn't speak very well French, but also because I didn't have skills, because other people who came to France, they worked, and some of them really didn't speak any French. They spoke English, and they worked in international companies, and no one asked them to speak French. And I didn't have these skills. So at the beginning, I didn't know what exactly I can do. So I went to the business school. I applied for the business school. I was graduated from the business school. But even when I was graduated from the French business school, I still couldn't find a job. So finally, I had two high diploma actually from universities. My journalism diploma, 5 years spent in university. 2 more years spent in French business school, and still without job. The solution was so I started to do market research, and it was quite funny actually, because I went to the job boarding websites, and I was searching by salary. And I just tried, okay, what's the bigger salary? What can I find? And I see that, okay, and I realized that in the bigger salary, it's a really IT industry. But I knew that for me, becoming really developer would be complicated because I spent already 8 years, 7 years in journalism. So I was wondering what exactly I can do. And I found that I can learn, I can become consultant. And I found actually Salesforce, and actually before in the company where I worked before, I saw the solution, but I didn't know at all that the solution was so popular, so in demand. So then I had the chance that my company paid, but actually I found a company who was agree to pay my education and then to engage me. But I really had a lot of chance to find this opportunity. It's not the case for everyone, and so there are different ways actually to learn, or find a company who will accept you, which is almost impossible, or learn in the solution and then find a company who will engage you. So no, that's my recent students who just finished Salesforce education, both found a job. So Melanie, she works in biotech. She graduated as biotechnologist. I don't know exactly what she did, but she doesn't have anything related to Salesforce. She was completely new from completely different industry, and she had a background in support, so she was a customer service support, something like this. And Diana, she didn't have a lot of work experience. She was just graduated, and she didn't know what to do. She was already in Paris. She's Russian speaking, and Melanie, she's French. And for her, she wanted to stay in Paris, but she didn't know how. And then she learned, and actually I really helped her to also to apply, to prepare CV, to find job. And I didn't have only two students for sure. Just two examples, recent examples of students, of my successful students. And so what's exactly this CRM? Because I didn't have answer if you know what CRM or not. So I will just show Salesforce, how it looks like exactly, okay? I will connect myself, I will share the screen, and I will connect myself to the solution just to show you how Salesforce looks like. So if you don't know what is CRM, just in 2 words, CRM it's a solution which permits actually to manage the whole information about the client. What it means exactly. Today, any company today and yesterday and in the future, they will have clients. The problem that these clients today, they're more exigent than before. They can switch easily from one solution to another, from one product to another, and the sales process is also today they're more complicated than before. You have to be on different channels, on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, LinkedIn. Or also you have to manage your database. You have to manage how exactly you're selling from step by step. For example, for you guys, when I started to promote my event for this education. So my first step, just if I take sales chain, so my first step is to send the promotion, and then I get your address emails, I send you information, now you're coming to webinar, and then I will send you also the information. So it's the whole sales processes, and these whole sales process can be managed actually in CRM. And today, for example, you are not 1,000 webinar, but imagine I have 1,000, 3,000, 5,000, or even more clients, and how to manage all this information. You can't use Excel files anymore. You can't use, I don't know, any other any other documents. You need a solution. And Salesforce, actually, it's a cloud solution, cloud-based solution. It means that you can connect to the solution everywhere, since you have your internet. So you can use and in your laptop, and there are also a mobile Salesforce, so you can also manage it from mobile. So you don't really need, the huge infrastructure in the office to manage this database. So just to show you, for example, so here we are on the administrator side. I will show you the user side, so we will go to sales. And why companies use Salesforce, why actually Salesforce became the #1 solution in the world, for many reasons. The first reason, I'm not in the order, but just will give you reasons. The solution is very easily customized, actually, for business needs. So, for example, if the company has one process of selling, the company can really say, okay, now here I see opportunities, lead, task, accounts, contacts. Or if I go to contacts, for example, I can see all the information about contact, and these contacts will be related to my accounts. But imagine I want to, I don't need all these opportunities leads. I'm a traveler agency, and I have travelers, and I have trips, or I'm a school, for example. So I have students, I have school, so I can really use everything, personalize everything for really my business needs. So here, if you go, for example, for contact, you click on details, you can see the whole information about this contact, and you can attach an account. You can also assign tasks like calls, send an email. So in the morning when you come at work, you can see that, okay, I have this task to do. You see, like local call, new event, email. Do you have any question by here now? You have any question about the solution, Salesforce? If you understand the CRM, do you need any precision? Just don't hesitate to say. Also, precisely what is your current situation? Why you need to learn Salesforce? What would you love to achieve? Or what's your goals? From which country also you are? So just again, get back to this map. So you can see this map of jobs which will be created by 2020, but today we have also a lot of jobs related to Salesforce, where in major countries, not a good expression, major countries, but in a lot of countries in the world. So you can see that United States, he just records it's 408,000 to 760 jobs. France, it's indicated 37,000, but really, from what I see, for example, people who contact me by LinkedIn, I have an impression there are much more jobs, because really, since you have an experience on Salesforce, people just contact you again and again. And I have an impression there are much more jobs that, or well, probably just my impression. So you can see Brazil, also Canada. Canada has huge demands. United Kingdom, Netherlands, Germany, Japan, Singapore, Australia. But as I said, from my experience, the majority of proposition myself I got from France, I got from Spain, Barcelona. I had proposition from Germany, Netherlands, United Kingdom. I didn't have any from India, probably in the future. I didn't have anything from United States and Canada, but probably because my configuration on my LinkedIn it was indicated France, so probably just didn't source. But I have students in United States today. they just started to learn. So hope they will also finish successfully as my students in Europe. Okay, so now we'll talk about really salaries for Salesforce administrators. I didn't compare for developers, but for developers, salaries are higher than for Salesforce administrators. So by country, you can see Salesforce administrator for juniors so between 54,000 to 6,500 for 6,500. One year in the middle, I mean, like you have at least 1 year and a half, 2 years of experience, so you can earn between 87,000 to 95,000. And why is this difference? It really depends on your backgrounds and your additional skills, because having only Salesforce for sure is not enough. You also need to have some additional background. For example, for me, it was my business school background, also my communication background. I worked as a journalist, and also that I spoke French and English. It was helpful, but it wasn't really necessary. But it was helpful to sell my skills to the clients or to the recruiter. So when I sold my skills, for example, so I can say, okay, I graduated from business school, or so I understand how business works, so I can make the model of each step, and I can be a good business analyst, and at the same time I understand Salesforce. You see, so for example, today, if you have, I don't know, if you work, for example, in marketing, you can say, okay, I really understand how marketing and sales work, so I will learn Salesforce from the administration, and I will also specialize myself in Sales Cloud. I give you just an example. Or, for example, you have a background as an accountant. So you can see, okay, I can learn administrator, and after that I will also add myself CPQ solution. CPQ is an additional solution of Salesforce which help to manage quotes and invoices. So we will go later exactly how you can build your career. That's really like, it depends from your backgrounds, from where you come today. So you can see for United Kingdom also salaries is 35,000. So it's in United Kingdom the salaries not so high. It's USA, but it's just market. It's a difference. Germany 25,000 starting salary. In France, I indicated 28,000, but myself, I started from 34 for my first job on Salesforce. But just recently, I heard someone who started from 28. I think just the person did negotiate very well salary. Probably the person was very in hurry to get a job. But normally, when you start in Salesforce, you start at least with 30,000 per year in France. And Australia, it's 55,000 starting salary. So it's like general data from statistical data. I think it can be a little bit different from company to company. And when you're senior, you see like quite interesting. I didn't stay in the company like a senior consultant business analyst, because I decided to become freelancer very fast. I worked as an employee for a year and a half, something like this, and then I really decided to go to freelancing, because just compare how much I can earn as freelancer. And as a freelancer, I started from 400 per day. And I personally, I think I could start it better, but it was my first experience, and I didn't know how to negotiate, so I was happy to start with 400. And today it's between 650 and 700, but also there are some additional stuff to know in order to get these rates. But in the worst case, when you're a senior in France, for example, you can earn 500 per day being freelancer. But still there are taxes and stuff like this to withdraw. But net salary you will finish with the minimum 6,000 per month in France. It's already minimum when you're a freelancer. If you have any questions so far, or just send me, I will try to answer now or later, and we'll continue now. Okay, okay, it's finished now. Okay, no, it's not finished. I went too fast. Okay, so certificate and certification. The question which really people ask me very often: what's the difference between certificate and certification? Because everyone's asked me, do you give any certification? Salesforce certification is an exam. I can't provide you this Salesforce certification because you have to prepare yourself for an exam. And once you prepare yourself for this exam, so you pass this exam, so there are 60 questions, if I'm not mistaken. And then when you pass the certification, so you have actually the certification. But myself, from as a school, I provide the certificate of completion. And what I get myself also when I did classes for Salesforce, I also had certificate of completion. Then I prepared myself for an exam, and then I passed certification exam. So I had both actually. But what company will ask you, it's not your certification of completion. They will ask you the proof that you really know the solution. And the first proof is getting Salesforce certification. And the second proof, and really to show them that you understand what you're talking about. And today's company, they understood that a lot of people just learning questions and answers, passing the certification, and then when they start to work, they don't really know the solution. So that's why I really wanted to, I really built my education on projects. So, for example, when you start this, the second education, because there are 3 programs. I'll just find where is it. It's in my presentation. Here. So there are 3 different programs. So the first program is 5 days crash course, which is 5 hours. So if you know nothing today about Salesforce, but you really need to jump into the solution to understand really basic stuff from user side and from administrator side. So this is the first education, and I really was searching to make education accessible in terms of price, because I don't know if you're aware, official Salesforce education on site, for example, in France, is 3,500. Online education, there are really different in online education programs. But from Salesforce partners, there are 1,000, some 600. There are really different prices. There are also free classes which you can do with Trailhead. So I will just show you what's this Trailhead. Trailhead is official Salesforce resource. I hope you see my screen. It's okay now. Normally you can see my screen. So Trailhead is official Salesforce resource where you can find the whole information about Salesforce, start to learn. So for example, if I put Salesforce administrator, Salesforce administrator, and you will find the path. You will find the path. I'm sorry for the connection. It's coming. So you will have actually, you see, study for administrative certification exam, certification in India. So there are really a lot of different classes. And what I've done from my side, myself, I give education, the mix with between Trailhead and live classes and project realization. because Trailhead has a lot of great resources. The problem for beginners that they're just overwhelmed with this information. Just they don't know from where to start and what to do next and how to move. So usually they need really help. Also, the other reason that you need to be motivated by someone. Actually, because when you're behind your laptop, you learn. Okay, it's great. But if you don't have any help from someone, especially from someone who already did exactly the same thing, it's become complicated. It is the same for everyone, and I think in any domain it's like this. So it's better to have someone who really will be your guide. Say, okay, you do this, and then next step is that. And if you stuck, someone help you. So, okay, I'll just get back for different propositions. So I have 5 days crash course, you learn basics, and there are 10 days crash course, much more, I would say we go really in configuration, and we'll also realize the project. So we will understand really first administrator from administrator configuration, and then you will realize the first project. For this project, you will realize the presentation, and this presentation you will present with one video. And I build partnership, and I continue to build partnership with Salesforce integrators, different independent and different recruiters, clients of Salesforce. So I create my step-by-step my database. Today I have about 30 companies in my database who are interested, who say that they're interested to recruit, and I continue to build this database. And since I will really, have your cases also to show, so I will push it more for different clients. So you prepare the presentation, you prepare a video presentation, and then I will send them to my partners, but also to my own network, because I have a huge Salesforce network in European countries. So I send this presentation, and I can't promise you that you will be engaged, but at least you have some proof. You have some proof that you realize the project. You have your video presentation, and even if you won't have your job with me tomorrow, when you will search, you have really some proofs, because today when you pass the interview with companies who engage Salesforce, who hire Salesforce experts, they started to ask very basic questions, because they understood that a lot of people just try to use Salesforce to get a great job, and sometimes companies, they hire someone and then they realize the person doesn't understand anything about Salesforce. So this realization of this project will be the proof of that you really realized the project, you did something. This is your presentation, so it's easier, to search and to share it. And the third program is a 2 months full program, so you will have the same education, but here you will realize 4 projects. You will also have the help from your mentor. So the help from your mentor, for example, you realize your project, and then you send questions to your mentor, and then then your mentor sends you feedback. Also, in this module, we help to build your CV, your cover letter, also helping to find an internship or any practical work. I'm really struggling to get remote internships for my students. It's quite complicated, guys. So I'm writing articles, but companies they resist for remote works. Not all the companies, but for the moment it's like a global problem. Every company, it's a trend, remote work, but still a lot of companies resisting. So I really try to promote remote work. And yesterday, company with which I talked, to search also for marketing cloud, they said, okay, we are okay for giving practical exercises for remote work, but still, you know, it's like not like a real job. They want to really to validate your skills before, but at least it's a real personal help in these modules. If you will do this model, so you're not only learning, but we really help to place you and to find your job. Any questions? Any questions? I'll just check here. Okay, nothing. Okay. Canada, looking for remote opportunity Salesforce, having 6 years of experience. Okay. India, how much does administrative only certification cost? Okay, certification costs. Okay, someone already responded 200. Okay, Canada. But you know, in Canada there are a lot of jobs, and if you are already in Canada, the problem, as I told, for remote jobs, sometimes companies really, they are okay for a remote job, but they ask you to be in the country where you are searching for a remote job. So, for example, you in the USA, you can start from there, and then you negotiate with the company to work remotely. And for France, for example, when I worked last year for an American company, but in Paris, I worked on site, and then I negotiated to work remotely. So remote jobs, you know, it's I just recently wrote an article for Salesforce Ben. Probably you know, it's quite popular blog on Salesforce, and I was talking about remote jobs. So remote jobs, they're existing, but there's still work to do, you know, to really that's become something natural, especially for cloud-based solution. So now we're on certifications. Just a second. I just jumped. I think I clicked too fast. So where you can work actually, which company? So you can work with Salesforce clients. Today, Salesforce has more than 100,000 clients in the world, and this number continue to grow. So if you, for example, today you can start. You can start with Salesforce clients or Salesforce integrators. And personally, at the beginning, I advise you to start with Salesforce integrator. And when you have an experience, to go to Salesforce clients. Why? Because when you work directly in Salesforce client, I mean, what is Salesforce client? The company who use this CRM. When you work directly on client side, clients are usually very exigent. They will ask you to do stuff probably which you don't manage yet, and you will need help of the team. And this help of the team is only possible when you work with Salesforce integrators or Salesforce partners, companies, consulting companies, because they have the whole teams or developers and other people. So you won't be alone working on integration or I don't know anything your work which you will do. And the beginning is great actually to have a team because you still you don't know how things works. And when you have an experience, then you can whether go directly work with client, whether go directly to client as a freelancer as well. And when I started at the integrators, for example, at the beginning, and then I went to the client, directly to the client as a freelancer. So there are pros and cons from both sides when you work at the integrator or on Salesforce clients. Also, you can work at Salesforce, and as I told you, their headquarters are situated in San Francisco, but the company has its subsidiaries in different countries, France, Ireland, and many others. And they search really a lot of different people with different skills, not only like administrator or I don't know, developer. They search really different for different positions. For example, I can jobs Salesforce, and you can see here that so career Salesforce. I go to career Salesforce, And this search account manager, business representative, learning manager. I don't know if I will see here. Location, search jobs. Okay, I will search for jobs. So you can do the same actually to search in your country which jobs you can find. Sorry, I didn't share the screen. I show you, but I didn't share the screen. Okay, tech. So this is Salesforce official website, and you will see different jobs. But still, you need to have some knowledge of Salesforce. You know, you can't just come with, okay, I want to work with your company, but I know nothing about your solution. Please hire me. So you see that currently they have 1,626 positions, and you see that account executive, strategic account executive, craft designers are really like different, very different positions. So you just check from your side. From my experience, what I know, when I wanted, because when I started to work on Salesforce in France, I didn't have French passport at the beginning. I had my Kazakh passport, and then I applied to the other country, and I wanted to work directly with sales for the other country, and I passed whole interviews, but finally I didn't pass the last interview because of invitation. The process was quite complicated to invite me, but integrators, clients, they do invitation for people from other countries. And I really saw a lot in Paris. People who just come in and working because there are really lack of skills from different countries, from China, from India, from different countries. But I just share my experience with Paris, okay? But I know there is almost the same situation in other countries, and especially if you're already in the country, you know, which I show you on the Salesforce map. It will be easier, at least for the beginning, you know, when you start, when you don't have experience. Because when you have an experience, then it's easy. For example, when I came here to Malta, company paid me the relocation, and it was easy for me to come here because I was already senior. So voilà. Okay, what could be your future profession? What exactly you can do? So there are really different possibilities. You can whether be a Salesforce administrator, whether be a Salesforce consultant, a business analyst, pre-sales consultant, developer, marketing cloud expert, and I will show you there are others possibility really to work with Salesforce. But what's the difference? Just shortly, I will explain. So Salesforce administrator, they really administrate the solution and works directly with users. So you do workshops, you try to understand their needs, and then you configure on the solution. So it's you have to have really good communication skills. I mean, listen what exactly the user want, and then do configuration. For consultant, I would say it's almost the same, but you bring more functional also skills. So you really prepare, I don't know, functional documentation. And business analyst, you work also with users, but you try to understand the whole business processes. And for example, you can create a map of the process and then align this process with Salesforce. But actually, it's quite close one to another. I did 4 of them. I was administrator, I was consultant, I was business analyst, I was pre-sales consultant. I didn't work as a developer because it's not something that I like. I want to learn developing now. But today I have the program also for developers. Today I present it for Salesforce administrators, because even if you are going to learn to become an actual Salesforce developer, you need to have also skills about administration. So the first step to learn administration, and then you jump to development. So for development, I have team who teach also. So I only teach administration, Salesforce administration, and also have help with career, how to build CV, prepare a cover letter, where to search, how to negotiate your salary and stuff like this. But for developers, there are other person who come, and I will just show you my screen again. I'm looking for job support training. And for job support training. Oh yeah, Deepak. If you need, if you're already certified expert, if you're certified expert, just send me a CV. So I will contact you. We will have an interview. So yeah, it will be possible. Send me a CV with your presentation. As I told today, there are a lot of people who's skilled, but still you need to check if really the person is skilled. But with pleasure, just send me your CV and your cover letter. Go to the presentation. So here is the Salesforce admin daily work. As I say, this I took really the job description. Okay, so the job description, you see end user training. You see that establish ongoing business process standard related to data cleanup, system administration, security, basic administrative function, user account maintenance, reports, dashboards. So all this stuff actually we will do during the education. Security, user account maintenance. So you will understand, you will know how to do this. This is just another example from job description, junior Salesforce administrator. And this slide is a really certification tracks. So Salesforce today has 25 different certification for administrator, advanced administrator, app builder, consultant, developers, specialist, architect. So architects, they must pay actually, but you should have at least 6 years of experience to become architect. So usually how it starts, you use administrator and then you become consultant, or you learn administration at the same time you learn development, or you can directly jump to marketing cloud, for example, or you can learn administration and then do community cloud or administration plus sales cloud, the service cloud, or some I also saw they learn administration, development, and app builder. So, but really the first step is to start from administration, and then you continue with the other education. So just let me know later and what exactly you could be interested. But you don't need administration for marketing cloud. You can go direct for marketing cloud math specialist without administration. So this is an example of your possible career path. So you can start, for example, as a consultant, and then become consultant senior, and then freelance, and then you can become a CRM project manager. Or you can just, when you're freelance, you can do whether a consultant or whether a CRM project manager. It's just one example, but your career is really you who decide who you're going to become. I really based on my own example, how I started and how I progressed. So what's the guarantee of my education? So the education is provided only by certified experts. If you are really not happy with the education, you have 7 days to change your opinion and say, okay, I really don't like it. 7 days for full program and 3 days for the first introduction program. So normally the education program is 5 days. So if in the first 3 days you really feel like you don't like, you can stop the education and just not continue. And for 10 days also, if you have first 3 days, so if you don't like, you stop. And also we provide help, support, really to, as I said already. And also I have one other example just to show you about professions. There again, my screen. The question which people often ask me is about languages. So language is very often is barrier. If they don't speak French or they don't speak English, what to do? So I think for you, it's not a problem since you speak English. It's okay, even for French-speaking countries or Spanish or whatever. Because myself, I passed interview for the position for Barcelona or Amsterdam, so it's okay for you. But for a lot of people, it's a really barrier English. So this is also an example for specialization. So developer Salesforce, or you use Apex Visual Force. Less technical specialization, so as I said, consultant and builder, Salesforce trainer as well. But usually what people do, they combine both administrator and from time to time they provide education. And if the company is really specialized on education on Salesforce, so then you can go and work as a trainer. But I advise you just really have different solutions in your how I don't know how to say it in English. Actually, just to have different propositions, so you can be administrator, or you can be consultant, or you also can provide education. So it's better actually you have choice. And so I say, so you can also specialize on Pardot or marketing cloud. That's also solutions. So Salesforce probably is a little bit overwhelming for the moment for you because there really a lot of information with Pardot, with marketing cloud, with Salesforce, but because Salesforce has really different solutions. For example, marketing cloud and Pardot, it's really for marketing. And they also have sales cloud, for example, it's really for sales, or CPQ is really for managing invoicing. So that's why they're so strong, because they really have everything to help business. And also you can become pre-sales consultant. Pre-sales consultant is the person who really know very good the solution, but also has sales skills. So when you go to workshop to the client, so the client asks you the question, how may I do this, may I do that, and you really show him what he can do, what he can achieve with Salesforce. So it's easier to show and expertise the value of the solution and to sell the solution. So any questions? Any more questions? Okay, yes, very good question. I'm coming for this answer. So actually, the education starts next Monday. So the next Monday, whatever you choose, 5 days, 10 days, or am I sharing the screen? Yes, I'm sharing the screens. So whatever you choose, 5 days, 10 days, or 2 months. Education starts Monday and it just will continue. Okay. So for the first course, you also will have 30 minutes personal career advice, or really face-to-face by what camera you can ask all questions as well. So for enroll, it's very easy. You just click to enroll now. And you can use your card or PayPal, or if something doesn't work, just don't hesitate to send me email. I will provide you support to help you with this. Or I have a lot on my basket. So you choose actually what you need to buy, and just proceed to check out. Okay, here I choose 2. I just need to choose 1, for example, and update card. Okay, so now it's 170, and then you just proceed to check out. If there are any problems, just send me an email, okay, or send me a message via LinkedIn, and I will help you. we still work on our website. Before I used one other website for Russian market, and this website we will launch. So there are still some adjustments. If something doesn't work, just don't hesitate to send me an email, and we will fix it. So how exactly lesson passed? Okay. So if you, for example, you enroll today and education starts Monday, and for example you work or you can't see classes or something. So classes starts in the evening at 7 p.m. French time, but you are not mandatory have to be during these classes. Okay, 24 hours later, I will send you the video. Maximum 24 hours, okay. Probably before we'll send the video. You will watch the video. You will do homework. Even introduction course, you have some homework to do with trail lens. You do your homework and you just continue like this. You can start, for example, with 5 days and say, okay, I really like and I want to continue. You jump to 10 days, okay. So you still in your secure zone if you are not sure, or you can directly go to the full education. And full education you can pay also twice per month, or you can pay the whole amount, and it's cheaper if you pay the whole amount than twice actually. Okay, so what I didn't say, that the whole education is really aligned to the certification exam for Salesforce administration, for example, administrator, but others as well. So actually, I really took the certification guide, and the certification guide has different sections, and so every class is built by section of the certification guide. So you really cover everything from the certification guide. Also, you will have the simulation test in the second program for the 10-day crash course. You will have one simulation certification test, which I really advise you to do, so you understand what you have to improve. And in the full program, you have several certification simulation tests. So you really work on certification exam. And I advise to do at least 4 simulation certification tests, because questions are different, and you really need to repeat several times different questions. And then you read it. Officially, Salesforce asks 6 months of experience before passing the test, but you can pass it before. But you have to work quite a lot on that. But in 10 days, pass the test in 10 days. I think it's too much ambitious, to be honest. Because if you never work on Salesforce, you're going to pass your certification test in 10 days. Good luck. But after 2 months, I think it's possible. Well, you can do it in 10 days if you really learn everything by heart, like a crazy. Probably it could be possible, but it doesn't work actually. So at least in 10 days you prepare your first project. What I advise for my students actually, because it's very difficult to constantly learn during 2 months. I know it for myself. You're very motivated from the beginning, and then you learn, and then okay. Usually, and I see it from my students. They're very motivated 1 month, and then in the second month they start. It starts complicated, so that's why I really want to do immediately first from the first 10 days the project. So you realize the project after 10 days, and you start to search a job or whatever, internships, practical work for non-profit organizations. So really start to search this. So you keep your motivation, you know why you're learning. and not just learning for learning. So, and then at the same time, you continue your education, you learn, and you prepare your certification exam. So for me, if you're not going to work in administration, but just you need some Salesforce skills, okay, do introduction, just only introduction. If you need to see, to try yourself if you can work or not, if you trying to search a position, I advise you to do the second program, realize the first project, and try to search internships, jobs. So you will be motivated, why you continue to learn. And when you're really sure, you feel like I'm motivated, I really want to learn, I decide it's for me, so you take the full program. Okay, there's a question. Okay, I'm good at drawing, Salesforce project manager, also Sherman Pro. Okay, thank you very much. Actually, there are a lot of Salesforce experts. Okay, perfect. Okay, well, I think that's it all. I don't see any additional questions. I stop here. So I hope you enjoyed, guys. And don't hesitate to send me emails. Hope you enroll and we'll start to work Monday together. And I wish you a nice weekend and probably see you soon.